Hey guys, how's it going? I wanted to talk about something. I had responded to this on my public page, but I wanted to talk about it also on here just because it was a good question, and people might think that there's like a contradiction in mostly what I teach along with this. So I wanted to talk a little bit about why I teach to hold the halter when I'm working on the horse's face. So the comment was I had done a video on working on a horse's face, and I was holding the halter the whole time, and the comment was, why are you holding the horse's face if they like it so much? Okay, and so I did a short video on this with a demonstration using my husband as the horse, which was funny. But I want to talk about it also just because it was a good point. And if you've listened to me for a period of time, you know that I'm always saying, let the horse communicate, let the horse move if they need to, let the horse do this, let the horse do that. Because that's a pretty big, significant part of communication with the horse and letting them know that you're listening. But when I'm working on the face, there's a couple things that are a little bit different. One is that I'm always holding the face. Always. And I tell people to hold the face for two reasons. The first and the most important reason is a safety issue. Okay. Because a lot of times if a horse is head shy or they're sensitive around the face and you go to touch their face, they do that, right? Don't touch me. Okay. And they're very fast. They're a lot faster than we are. And their heads are a lot harder than ours are. Okay. So I don't want you to get bopped in the face. And what happens when you're working on a horse around their face, you might find an area of tension that they didn't know was there. And so what happens is they have a natural reaction, and that natural reaction is to jolt their face away. Okay? And normally I would say they pull the face away, but sometimes they just move it, and it could come into your face if you're not holding the halter. So holding onto the halter is definitely a safety issue. Now, a couple points about holding a halter is one, this part of my hand moves freely with the horse, so they still get to communicate. But my elbow is kind of locked into my side, or at least I have the elbow kind of fastened down, so it's not just like a spaghetti arm, okay? It moves very easily with the horse, but if they were to, impact my hand, I'm going to have enough of a cushion, my forearm's length of cushion from their face to my face, or their face to my body, whatever. And I'm telling you, with the hundreds of horses that I've worked on, that's a lifesaver. I mean, I'm sure I have multiple videos, different places of where they just, you hit something and all of a sudden, it makes them react. And they're not trying to hit you or anything like that. But having that hand on the halter is super important. The second reason that I like the hand on the halter, and this can be applied to the rest of the body also, is that when they really start enjoying the massage on their face, they will actually completely relax their head. And so it's really nice to have that halter on there, and you're holding on this side, and the halter kind of holds their head as you're massaging their face. Okay? It's a nice way for them to be able to really relax into that, and I like to give that as an option for them. Another thing, you can rest their face in your arm if you want to, but if you hit a place of tension and they go, oh! And then their face is in your arm, bam, you're getting hit in the face. Okay. So, normally that's why I like to massage with your nylon halters and not your rope halters, because they're not really going to relax into a rope halter. Some of them will because they don't care, but I like the nylon halters for massage because I'm not trying to do any training, or I'm not trying to keep them off the halter. You know what I mean? So that's what those rope halters are for. And like I was saying, and so you can actually apply that also to the rest of the body. So holding the halter is actually a form of support. Okay. So I did this video with my husband where I showed not holding, okay, and then rubbing his face. Okay. It kind of it was moving him around. But if I were to support his face and then massage, it doesn't move at all. And you can do that on yourself. You can do that on yourself and see what I'm talking about. So I like to hold the halter as a way to support them so that I can massage them and they're not getting pushed around, because that's not comfortable, because then they have to use the muscles in their neck to stop their head from flopping around. So if I support their head, then I get to massage them and they can just relax and enjoy it. Okay. And like I said, that applies to the rest of the body, because as I'm working down the body, I'll put my other hand that I'm not massaging with, on different areas of their body to support them, so I can press a little harder and I'm not like moving them around like this. Okay. I do it a lot on the hind end, because if I'm really pushing those glutes, you'll see that my other hand is either up on their loin, kind of holding their loin so that I can push, or it's on their point of buttock so that I can hold them and really get deep. Okay. So I hope that helps. It was a pretty good question. It's funny, I don't think they were trying to be snotty, but a lot of these snotty comments that I get sometimes end up being fantastic teaching points, because, people don't see what I'm doing. They don't know what I'm doing. And so, I don't think they were trying to be snotty, but it's hard to tell sometimes. But it ended up being a good question, because it's something I don't think about. And so I wanted to share that with everyone. And then also, when I put that response in the comments, they were like, "Oh, thanks for explaining." And then they said something else like, I didn't notice that, or I didn't know that, or something like that. So it ended up being a great talking point. So anyways, feel free to shoot me any questions you have about why I do stuff. I generally have an answer. If not, it's probably something I need to look at more. But yeah, that was a good one. That was a good question. All right. Talk to you guys later. Enjoy your day. Bye.